Well, look where I am. I've managed to get back in the hoop house. Actually 2 or 3 days ago was the first time the door opened, but today's the first nice sunny day, so I'm in here to do some clean up and to look around at how some of the things in here wintered. I'll give you a look at those shortly. There's still lots of snow outside to melt. Just outside the door here, the snow drift is probably 2.5 to 3 feet deep. But nice sunny weather and a windy day like this with warm wind melts the snow here quite rapidly, so we could soon be seeing the end of it, I guess. It's 7 degrees outside, and I just checked the thermometer in here. It's 19 degrees in here, so it's lovely and comfortable. I had a light jacket on, but I've taken that off. It was too warm in here with the jacket. So I'll give you a look around at what's happening here. One of the things that I was anxious to see in here was my 2 fig trees. I treated them both differently to see what would happen over the winter. One I covered with a large plastic garbage can. Never had garbage in it. It's one that I used to store water in the summertime. Took that off, and I think that was a big mistake. The top 7 or 8 inches was dead, and really dry sticks just snapped right off. I see life down closer to the base, so it's still alive and will have to grow up once again from the base. That's what it did last year. This one I didn't cover at all, and it's been in the ground here since last spring when I planted it. First look at the buds, I was disappointed. I thought, they look kind of brown. I don't think that's alive. Then I looked closer. If you can see this, if I put my hand behind it or not. This particular bud I have manipulated. I peeled some of the brown scaly outer covering off, and the interior has got green live leaves, and I see several more on the plant that have started to open up, and if you look closely inside you can see bits of green leaf. So I might have done something right for a change. I'm looking it over closely, and I don't see any place where there are figs yet. If you are familiar with figs at all, it isn't unusual to see figs developing even before the leaves come out. It's a strange sort of a plant, but I've looked this over pretty closely and I don't see that happening anywhere. I'll be happy if it leaves out and produces a fig for me sometime this summer. I cannot tell if this is in focus or not, but I will zoom in a bit. I can't tell until I see it on the computer. That's probably out of focus, but at any rate, that is it. Move on now and do some little bit of work in here. I'll show you what I'm up to in just a second. Just doing my first pH soil test, not for any specific crop, but just to give me an idea of what the pH is in here. And I think if I shove that probe in a little further, the ground is frozen down a few inches is the problem. Well, I had a nice negative reading and now I'm not getting it. Okay, I guess in that place it isn't so bad. When I compact it, it goes down to about 6.5, which is a decent reading for most plants. That's the average garden soil, should be that. I was in here the other day with it and stuck it in, and I think I got lower than that. I got down to 5.5 or something, so maybe some of the other beds are a little more acidic. Anyway, that gives me a baseline to work from, and I will either make the beds more alkaline or more acidic, depending on the crop that's going in there. What I forgot to mention a bit ago was the temperature that the fig trees survived this winter. Up at the house, my outdoor Minimax thermometer says that it got down to -21. That would be our coldest night sometime this winter, probably in January or early February when we had that very cold weather. The Minimax in here says that it only got down to -15, so that's a 6-degree difference. I wasn't expecting to find that much, but if that's what it says, it must be what we had. It could have been also that there was lots of snow on the roof and around the sides at the time, which would have kept it a little bit warmer in here. So anyway, they survived -15. Well, it's me again. I just noticed when I'm editing this little clip together, that I have lost one of the clips that I did in the hoopos. What follows sort of starts halfway through a project that I'm working on. Last year the grapevines were growing up at an angle. I fastened the wires that they were growing on to the first purlin in from the end of the greenhouse, because if I put it on the end, I'd have to put the wires out through the plastic, and I didn't think I wanted to do that. Well, I've changed my opinion there. I want the vines to grow flat up against the end wall, so I am moving the wires back and putting them out through the end wall plastic and up over that purlin and back in again. You'll be able to see that hopefully, but it sort of starts as if I'd already explained it to you. I thought I had, but I lost that clip. Well, hopefully that's in focus. As I say, I cannot tell with this little screen until I see it on the computer, but this is the first vine that I took down. I just have it laying over against the counter here, the bench, and I'm getting ready to put it up where I want it. But if you can see from that right there, it is breaking bud already, and further down on this same stem there are numerous buds like that that are starting to come out. So an early start on the grape season here. I hope they're not fooled by some horrible cold weather that damages them later on. Sometimes things are not as difficult as you think they're going to be. All I have to do here is not fall off my stepladder. Poke this up already from inside. Just bring as much of it as I can through. Bring it down around and there. Now just go in back inside and tighten that up and twist it together, and that should hold my grapevine, which I hope will be loaded with grapes this summer. Well, hopefully this shows what I've just done. If you can see that furthest wire on the right there, I haven't put it back on the back wall because so far it doesn't have a vine growing up it. But all the other ones, which are 5, I guess, have all been moved back to the back wall. I think I like that much better. It will sort of make that back wall hopefully covered with green grapevines this summer, maybe even grapes. The variety that I showed you with the bud on it, breaking bud, is Beta, which is a Concord type grape, a slipskin grape with seeds. And the other variety is also starting to break bud, but it's not as advanced as the Beta is. Beta is a very hardy grape. The other one has survived and the buds are starting to swell. It's called Somerset, S-O-M-E-R-S-E-T. And it is a green seedless dessert grape. So that's the one I would really like to see produce some grapes. That's my favorite grape, but I'll be happy if either one of them do, I guess. This is the, I think, 9. Well, I think 9 anyway. Can't seem to get my eyes focused enough to count them. But those are the New Brunswick Wild River grape that I propagated from cuttings last year, and I just healed them in their peat pots in here in the hoop house for the winter. And they're also, the buds are starting to swell, so by the time the snow has melted and I get these outside, they will have foliage on them, but that's okay. I've got 5 or 6 places where I want to put them. A trellis that's on the house that doesn't have anything growing on it, and just at the base of trees, so they'll grow up into the trees. The grapes are so small. Well, with as many grapevines, I guess you could probably collect enough to make jelly or something out of, but I want to leave them as wild bird food. Well, I'll give you a little look at the outside here to show you how much snow is still around us, and that will finish my first day in the hoop house. Hopefully there'll be many more warm days before I start planting in here. The first thing that I'll plant will be early spring peas, but they won't be going in until 1st of April, so I've got a few weeks yet to get ready. Only the top 4 or 5 inches of the soil in here has thawed up. You stick your hand down in that far and you meet solid ice, so it will take a few more days like this to get the soil so I can start working. Well, that's the side of the hoop post, the south side. The north side looks pretty similar. There might be a little more snow, but what happens, of course, is every snowstorm covers it, and then the interior warms up and causes the snow on the roof to slide down, and it just keeps accumulating at the base, which I think has probably been a good thing. It's probably kept it insulated. That might explain the difference between -21 at the house and only -15 inside there this winter. Anyway, last year I spent well, we didn't have a lot of snowstorms, but every snowstorm I cleared it off. This year I just ignored it, and there hasn't been any damage at all, so I think that's the route that I will go in the future. Thank you very much for watching. I'll get this uploaded to YouTube.